Put something real in there, and we used to really sit around and sing this old song. Lots of other songs too. Some of you may have noticed in the newspapers last year that we was able to buy back that old building. It's nice to be back in there. We got some nice things going on. Some nice programs for kids that have been screwed around with too much, or old folks been left alone, or people in between dealing with AIDS and cancer and all kinds of stuff. And I won't talk too much about it now, but I just thought I'd let you know that, as a matter of fact, the second day I was in there last year, I guess, I was mopping up the floor, and the local preacher come by. It was at night. It was a glass door, so I couldn't run away or nothing. And he was there knocking at the door, and I let him in. He said, "Arlo, I just come by to see what you're doing over here." I said, "I'm not doing much, just mopping up." He said, "No, Arlo, what are you doing over here?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Arlo, what kind of church is this?" Well, no one had ever asked me before. So I said, "Well, it's a bring your own God church." And he was looking at me. He didn't want to smile, but you could see the smile creeping across his face. I said, "Well, you asked." And I didn't have time to think about it, but I said, "You know, every church, every synagogue, every temple, every mosque, every standing out looking at the stars is the bring your own God thing. Because you got to bring your own heart, your own mind, whatever it is, or you just bring your own standing there looking at it." He said, "Well, maybe you're right. Haven't seen him since, but I just wanted a moment to tell you that. Because it sort of puts for me this show tonight that we've been doing in a little bit more of a context of some kind. It's more fun than anyone can imagine to be up here, not just with your own kids, but with friends, and it's sort of like just one big family up here. That's what it feels like. And it reminds me of a story that my dad used to tell, because he was equally convinced that there wasn't but one big family around the whole world anyways. And it was the story of the two rabbits.
Hi, folks. Oh my God. Hi, folks, and welcome to the second night of our kickoff season. We're having a great time. Please check things in the lobby, like membership forms, blank ones, fill them out, make them full. Our schedule for the summer. And I just want to say one thing. We had a wonderful thing here today. We have weddings here. We do all kinds of things at the center. And we have a really lovely couple that came in today and got married on this very stage. And they're here tonight. God bless you guys. And they became members too. So okay, that's enough. Give them time. So at any rate, we do all kinds of things like that. We've had funerals here. We have weddings. We're going to have a wedding page on the website real soon. And we're thinking about maybe church divorces. You know, you can cook the rice and throw it back at the people, do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, enough commercial stuff. Let's have some fun. Here's Arlo. Hello. Okay.
So long ago I set out on this road with my friends and my companions by my side. And I think of you wherever I do go. I'm a rambler, I ain't hard to satisfy. Won't be long till I'm home again with you. Just a few more miles to go. Now it won't be long till I can get back on my own. Won't be long till I can spend my time with you. Standing in the line, search my pockets, check me out, I'm alright. It ain't hard, but it ain't easy all the time. a few more miles to go. Won't be long till I can get back on my own. Won't be long till I can spend my time with you. Singing front porch banjo nights when friends come by to pass the time away. And the wind that chills the Berkshires in the nights, heading east through Massachusetts toward the bay. Won't be long till I am home again with you, just a few more miles to go. Won't be long till I can get back on my own. Won't be long till I can spend my time with you.
Together for over 30 years. And my son Abe on the keyboards back there.
I started thinking of some of the old songs my dad used to sing and some of the old stories they used to tell. And I remember one in particular where him and Pete and others had gone to some union hall. They were singing for a few nights or something like that, and they went in and they did their show. And after the show, a woman come out of the crowd and accosted my father. She said, "Mr. Guthrie, I mean, that was very nice, but none of the songs you guys were singing mentioned anything about any of the women that are working just as hard as some of these guys. Along with them, I belong to the Ladies Auxiliary of the whatever union it was." She was going on and on about it, you know, and everybody was backing off. They went home that night, and my dad and Pete and others were contributing. They wrote a song that went something like this. There once was a union maid that never was afraid of the guns and gangs and company thanks and the deputy sheriffs that made the raids. She went to the union hall where the meeting it was called, and when the governor's boss come around, she always stood her ground. Said, "You can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. No, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die." Now this union maid was wise to the tricks of the company spies. She never was fooled by the company stool. She'd always organize the guys. She always got her way when she struck for higher pay. She'd show her card to the company guard. This is what she'd say: "No, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. No, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die." So they went back the next night and they sang their new song, and they thought they did all right, and the same woman come out of the crowd again. She said, "Mr. Guthrie, that was a very nice song, but it didn't mention the Ladies Auxiliary." And so he wrote her a song on the spot. Oh, the Ladies Auxiliary, it's a good auxiliary, about the best auxiliary that you ever did see. So if you need an auxiliary, try the Ladies Auxiliary. That's the Ladies Auxiliary. Sarah Lee, you're up here. And, let's see if we can't do this together. This is fun. We don't actually have a set idea of what we're going to do. I wrote down some songs that we might know.
And so I asked Sarah Alicia, I said, you're here tonight, why don't you come up and sing a song or two or something like that? And she come up with one that we used to do, oh geez, I don't know when the last time was we did this.
Oh, the last time or the first time?
Well, when was the first time?
94.
Wow.
I won't ever forget that. But now the last time was probably a few years ago.
Oh,
at least.
okay. Is it still in the key of D?
Yes, I think so.
Song by Pete Seeger.
Sailing down my golden river, sun and water all night long. Yet I was never alone. Sun and water, old life givers, I'll have them where'er I roam. And I was not far from home. Sunlight glancing on the water, life and death are all my own. Yet I was never alone. Life for all my sons and daughters, golden sparkles in the foam. And I was not far from home. Sailing down this winding highway, travelers from near and far. Yet I was never alone. Exploring all the little byways, sighting all the distant stars. And I was not far from home. Sailing down my golden river, sun and water all my own. Yet I was never alone. Sun and water, old life givers, I'll have them where'er I roam. And I was not far from home. Yet I was never alone. And I was not far from home.
Good enough. I don't know how many people here visited the area for the first time, but where we are right now is sort of well, there's a lot more people in this little part of the Berkshires than where I live. You know what I'm saying? We're out there and not much. And to get to the airport from where we are, to get to the nearest airport that actually goes anywhere, it's about an hour and a half to get down to, around Hartford, Springfield Airport, Bradley Field down there. And we got to go through the back roads and we've been doing that for 40 years. So a couple of months ago, I'm taking my wife Jackie down there. She's flying off to see some, do some stuff, and we've been doing this forever. And you know how it is when you actually get to the airport these days. You don't actually stop to drop people off. You just slow down, and the cops say, keep moving, keep moving. So the door opens, you get a running start. Out you go, the bags, out they go. You got the phone. Yeah, I'll see you later. Bye. Okay. So I'm taking off. I'm going home. I'm driving about a half hour. The phone rings. It's my wife. She said, honey, come and get me. I said, come and get you. What's wrong? They canceled the flight or something? She said, no, I've been arrested. I said, you've been arrested? She said, yeah. I said, what happened? She said, I can't talk about it now. I'm in handcuffs. Just come and get me. Okay. So I turned the car around. I'm going back to the airport. I'm calling the kids. Mom's been arrested. And not only that, but now the state troopers down there are calling me on the phone, giving me special instructions, you know, how to come and get her. You take the car, you park it in the no parking zone behind the squad car that's parked there. You get out, stand around in the no standing zone until they bring her out or something. It's just nuts. So I'm following the instructions. I'm standing there. Out come my wife, handcuffs behind her back, with a big Connecticut state trooper, you know, leading her on, 3 or 4 others that are coming along. And I'm just looking at this scene. And the head cop comes over to me and he said, Mr. Guthrie, first of all, I'm a fan. He starts rattling off all these obscure records I haven't even thought of myself for years, so I know he's not making this up. And the other troopers are going, oh, I like that one, I got that one. And they're talking about it, and I'm saying, stop, just tell me what happened. Oh, well, what happened was, we saw a bag going through security, and it had a tag on it that said Arlo Guthrie. And we said, we know he's not here. What kind of idiot is pretending to be him? So they thought, let's open this bag up. So they open it up. There's a little tin thing in there that somebody gave me at a gig somewhere. They tossed it in a suitcase. You don't think about that stuff. And been carrying it around for years or something. Who knows? It had a picture of a familiar plant on the top, with the words Amsterdam written just below it. They said, we better open this up. So they opened up the thing, and out like a jack-in-the-box comes all, it's not just a picture, it's the actual botanical stuff spewing out of there like a little volcano, and they're leading the wife away. She said, I didn't know about it, right, lady? And finally, you know, I mean, they find out who she is, and they said, oh, Mrs. Guthrie, we're so sorry about this. We really do have better things to do than arresting people for this stuff these days, but it's just the way it is. And frankly, if we'd have known it was you, we wouldn't have even bothered. But now that we've arrested you, we can't unarrest you. So we have to take you down and process you, and it'll take a little while, but don't worry, you'll be comfortable, and we'll call your husband, he'll come and get you. She's saying, okay, and you know, so now she's been there an hour and a half, they're telling me the story, they're undoing the cuffs. She's already made friends with them all, knows them all by their first names, and we're leaving. She's a serial hugger, so she's squeezing them goodbye, and they're going, oh my God, hippies, and backing off, you know. And anyway, to get her out of there, I had to take pictures with the arresting officer, you know, security guy, and sergeant like that. Here's a song for my wife. Don't touch my bags if you please, just a together as the tour that is coming up over the next year or so. We're going to be doing this, and this is the first night, not even last night. We wish I had to be somewhere else last night. So this is the first time we've actually got together, and to start off not just the season here at the church, but for the rest of our year. And so we're looking forward to doing some of these tunes and seeing if we actually know them. Somebody was asking for something that we didn't know, and I didn't have the heart to tell them, we don't know the ones we're doing. This is one written by my good friend Hoyt Axton. In a dream in the morning that she brings me water, and a dream in the evening that she brings me wine. Just a poor man's daughter from Puerto Penasco, Evangelina in old Mexico. That's a great hot desert south of Mexicali, and if you don't have water, then you better not go. Tequila won't get you across the desert to Evangelina in old Mexico. And the fire I feel for the woman I love is driving me insane. No ancient waiting, and I just can't get there. Lord only knows that I've racked my brains trying to find a way to see that woman in old Mexico. I met a kind man who guarded the border. He said, you don't have papers, but I'll let you go. I can tell that you love her by the look in your eyes now. She's the rose of the desert in old Mexico. And the fire I feel for the woman I love is driving me insane. Knowing she's waiting, and I just can't get there. Lord only knows that I've racked my brains trying to find a way to see that woman in old Mexico. In a dream in the morning that she brings me water, and a dream in the evening that she brings me wine. Just a poor man's daughter from Puerto Penasco, Evangelina in old Mexico. It's a great hot desert south of Mexicali, and if you don't have water, then you better not go. Tequila won't get you across the desert to Evangelina in old Mexico. She's the rose of the desert in old Mexico. y'all love, who y'all love. Tell me who y'all love, who y'all love. You know, Hoyt was the real thing. And as a matter of fact, I remember back, and not only that, Hoyt was big. He was from Oklahoma. We was actually related. We was cousins, and a lot of people are in Oklahoma. Not quite like Arkansas, but you know what I mean. And at any rate, we used to hang around together, and like I said, he was a big guy. He was big for Oklahoma. He was football big. And it wasn't, Hoyt was not afraid of anything. I never saw him at a time when he was afraid of anything. And so he wasn't actually like looking for trouble, but he wasn't purposely avoiding it. You know what I mean, that kind of guy. And so for a long-haired, skinny little hippie kid like I was in the early 60s, you know, it was great to have a buddy like Hoyt. You could travel anywhere in the country, nobody screw around with you or nothing. And I remember one night in Los Angeles around 1965, I was out there for the first time, and there was a little club about this size, and Hoyt was playing there. And I was sitting in the crowd that night, and he was on stage singing some of his songs, and he was taking them serious like he did. And there were some people talking in the back, you know, and Hoyt just looked out there and said, "Quiet down out there." And they kept talking. And he said it again. They said, "Quiet down out there." And they didn't either hear him or something, I don't know, but he puts down his guitar, walks off the stage, picks up two people, one in each hand, and walked out the door. The door closed, and you could hear stuff banging, breaking, people yelling, screaming, crying, you know. Hoyt come back in. I'm just watching this. The door closes. By this time, the rest of the crowd is deathly quiet. Hoyt gets up on the stage and says, "I shouldn't have done that." I love it. That kind of guy. He wrote great songs like "Joy to the World," some others, you know, later on in life, and but a great friend. And so we was rehearsing this song with the band we just finished a tour with for the last year or two, and it was in our living room. And Hoyt and I used to swap songs on each other's records, and this last one I had recorded on a record back years ago and never did live until just recently. So after the rehearsal of that song for the first time, we're going to do it on the road. Everybody goes home after the rehearsal. My wife Jackie, who's here tonight filming, we were married about 40 years even back then, and she come down the stairs and says, "Honey, I didn't want to say anything before now, but Hoyt wrote that for me." I said, "That's all right. I wrote one for Hoyt." My old friend, every now and then your face just comes to mind, and I recall the good times when you and I we'd watch the days go by. We thought they'd never end. My old friend, my old friend, I can't remember when we met or when the last time was we had to say goodbye, because you and we'd laugh as time went by. Now you're just around the bend, my old friend. The world seems colder, so much has changed, 'cause you look down from above. 'Cause I'm getting older, you're still the same. Still I'm thankful for these memories of my old friend. I'll see you again. Time flies when you're smiling. Hope it takes a little while, and you and I will watch the world go by, and we won't care if it ends, my old friend. Still I'm thankful for these memories of my old friend. I'll see you again. Time flies when you're smiling, so I hope it takes a little while.